Hi, and welcome to another Scott Industries vlog. My name is Blazehackman. I play Battlefield 1 on the Xbox One platform under the name Nice Flowers. Some people ask me where'd that name come from, and I mainly invented that name to annoy COD players. E.g., you got killed by Nice Flowers. When I used to play COD, play Battlefield now. And I did play World at War until I snapped the game in half. I actually ejected it from the Xbox and then snapped it in half. Played it too much, but I love that game. It is good that Call of Duty is going back to the World War II format, so we'll see what is happening there. But I digress. So I used to also be called Pyroclastic Flow, and in earlier videos you can see me posting as that, and then I think I tried to change that name, or the account changed, and I changed it to Pyroclastic Flower because Flow wasn't available, and then it sort of flower came out of that as well. Bit of history there. Anyway, today in the background I've got some footage that I captured on the Elgato a while back when I did the Morse code dog tag challenge, if you want to call it, to get the new beginning dog tag. And if you go out there on Game Detectives, you can see all the ways you can do this. I won't go into too much detail, but here's one of the MCOMs, and here I am capturing the Morse code right now. And I've just got, in no particular order, a series of MCOMs here, so I can't do all the work for you here, but I'm just going to give you I'm going to pose the question, what is going on with the Phantom program? Let's call it the Phantom program in Battlefield 1, because we all remember the Battlefield 4 Phantom program, which I thought was absolutely awesome. Even though the reward wasn't that good, the Phantom bow. Here we have some captures I did and the process I went through to basically make this happen. So I tell you what, the machine's making a little bit of noise in the background. I'm on the laptop today. I'm going to check that and come back. Hang on. Okay, I'm back. I just went into the machine, turned off a lot of background processes as well. So it has calmed down a bit. So hopefully things are going to be okay from here on. So let's talk about this challenge. A few people in my clan have said, I don't want to do that challenge. It's kind of pointless anyway. But yeah, there's a lot of Easter eggs in Battlefield 1. And a lot of it's around Fort Devoe. And if you look at the Megalodon that you can generate on Fort Devoe, which I think is a bit of a gimmick because it really doesn't relate. At least in Battlefield 4, it was in the water, but here you're in the middle of France at a fort, and there's a shark, a great white. I don't think that's even its habitat in that northern hemisphere. So a bit of a stretch. Sometimes if the developers get too self-aware, they try and get fancy. Then we end up with down the COD path, where you're kind of just disconnected from your players. Anyway, there are some other little Easter eggs, like the little red houses that you can find all around the new DLC that came out, and I might pop around and try and grab all those little houses, those little Easter eggs, because they could relate back to the Phantom program. I get a feeling this is like this challenge, this Phantom program, whatever you want to call it, is kind of like you got the washing up and it's sitting there and there's a lot of dirty pots and pans, and most people can ignore it, but if you don't, it's all going to stack up, it's going to bite you later on. So my theories are that, I've said they'll get no grounds to back this up, but I'm thinking that it's a 20-hour commitment, I'd say. Although Stone Mountain, he's a smart guy. He knocked over all the Morse code. He was decoding it manually by ear. Just absolutely ridiculous. Well, he was typing it down without any errors by listening dot dash when he was decoding the Morse code. And then he did the whole thing in 4 hours. That's 9 codes. So that guy is, I think he's a very intelligent guy. For me, it took a lot longer than that. And I've got a family as well. So it took about, I don't know, I'd reckon 20 hours all up. By the time you go through, you get the codes, decode them, go through all the processes, trial and error, and then you end up with the dove at the end. So what I might do is just, the question I'm asking now is, when are we going to find out? I'm pretty sure there's going to be zombies. There's a site just devoted to, and it really escapes me by now, I should know, I'll try and link it in later on, but it's a whole site developed to game detection on Battlefield 1, and a lot of people are uncovering the secrets of these Easter eggs. So Fort Devoe, we've got the zombie noises, you've got strange voices, you've got that door. Some people have actually gone in out of the map on the campaign mode and found that there's nothing behind that door. So you can also get under the map, and you can see that there's sort of like the Phantom program in Hangar in Battlefield 4. There is actually a secret room under the map. But when you go in the elevator in the Hangar map on Battlefield 4, you don't really travel down the elevator. I think it just kind of portals you down to this secret room, which is tacked onto the bottom of the map. And that same kind of room is evident for people who've gotten under the map in Battlefield 1 on Fort de Vaux. There's also the thing they call the shit pipe. It's round in the munitions entry. There's some boxes around there. You can blow them all up. And there's a pipe you can throw bombs down, all sorts of things, and there's a room down there. So there's all these little teasers about what's going to happen. But DICE, I was reading on the website, are releasing content pretty much every month now. A lot of people have been arguing that it's been too slow, and I would argue that too, especially with the Phantom program, or let's call it the new beginning dog tag. The people who've done the work are waiting. What's happening? When will you tell us? When will you release more information? So here's the thing I'd say is that most people, I don't know, maybe 5% of people have done that, have got the dog tag. And my theory is that if you've got that, then your squad, whoever's with you, somehow you're the key to get into that room. And I thought it would be funnier if someone could just, after you've done 20 hours work, somehow kill you and betray you and take that and just steal it so that they can access a zombie game. So in a way, Battlefield 1 is referencing Call of Duty, but back when Call of Duty was good and relevant, and it wasn't trying to get too fancy and had killer robots, whilst claiming that it was still in touch with a human element of war. Back when the zombies were just, this is a crazy game that an intern thought up on a Friday night. I just made that up, by the way. So please give us some information, because I've got the tag and no one else has got it, okay? And all I'm saying, my whole theory is pretty much based around the fact that I want to be the guy that everyone has to crawl to. And because we've been having squad conflict, I just think it would be funny if the squad came and said, you've got the tag, maybe you could, you're the key, you're the chosen one, let us in. So it's purely narcissism and megalomania, which is leading me to that conclusion, and fantasy. Anyway, I've just got some random killing happening in the background here. As I said, when I put all these MCOMs together and the stuff that I've done, there's no particular order. But here's a few tips. Here are my tips on the fastest way to get, if you want to go down and complete, because some people, like Chaff, for example, I just know it's going to annoy him not having this tag. But if it's a 20-hour commitment, well, I reckon I can reduce that by at least a third if you follow the following tips. So the first thing I do is I'd only look for the headphones on sewers. And then you want to spawn at the end. I can't remember which side it is. It's the end where the destroyed battleship is. You want to spawn on that end. Or if you're looking at the screen, it's on the left-hand side of the map. You want to spawn there. You want to grab a horse. And then if you go on the Game Detective website, you'll see all the locations. There's pretty much 5 locations on every map, but on sewers there's 5 where you will find the headphones. Now, in my experience, after lots of trial and error, there was only 2 locations that regularly gave me the headphones. And the first one, which was always quite reliable, was the jetty. So you ride off with your horse to the left-hand side, ride a horse because it's the most efficient way. You find the jetty, the headphones usually are sitting there. If they're not, the next location they say is you go down the railway track along the shoreline and you find this railway gantry kind of thing, like a vacant railway platform, like wheels. I've never found the headphones there. The next location is where the B flag would be if you were playing Conquest. And between 2 palms with Zach Galifianakis, maybe between those 2 palms on the ground there, check out the Game Detectives wiki website. There's headphones there usually. They're the 2 primary spots. The next one you have to keep riding on the left-hand side of the map, and you go all the way over to. It's hard to describe. There's a netted tents and boxes. And sometimes I find the headphones there. And then the last location was right over on the other team's spawn near the radio antenna, and there's a couple of broken down, clay walls, what have you. And sometimes, like once I found it there, but generally the jetty is where you're going to find it, or you're going to find it between the 2 palms on where the B flag would be, or just behind the B flag. Now, some of these clues I got from Stone Mountain. If you go through it with your horse and you can't find it, don't bother going and searching it again, waiting for it to regenerate. Oh, and make sure you get yourself a private server, pay the $2, get the private server, and if anyone joins, you can kick them unless they're obviously a squad member, but then you're going to have to, wait for them to get it and you to get it, and it's just more efficient just to grab that server by yourself, pay the $2. If you don't get it on the first run, back out of the server, add another map, like Argon or something, then delete that map, then add Suez back in, and then start the server again. And that's the most efficient way. It kind of reboots the server, so it's going to generate the headphones. And you won't go more than, it never happened more than 3 times where I didn't find some headphones. So, a couple of clues. When you go to the secret MCOM, it's up there on the right-hand side. If you're heading towards the enemy, if you know where the C flag is on Conquest, you head off to the right, and you'll find the secret MCOM over there. Check the website again for all the details, the minute details. One of the mistakes I made, we're looking at an MCOM now. Now, the MCOM lights flash depending on what level you are, but you have to do it in sequence. So we've got gold colored lights here. Isn't that pretty? Well, when you're at the MCOM, get to this position. Don't move, particularly don't move backwards, because twice I got there with my headphones and just slightly put the controller down, move backwards slightly. Boom, it exploded. It was kind of soul destroying. And so after a lot of swearing, I had to go back and start again. And the other thing that I really think is important is, especially if your way of getting the signal out of your computer is not that clear, is don't record it while there's a sandstorm. There was once a recording in a sandstorm and it was just indecipherable. Okay, and then if you've got an Elgato capture card, obviously then you'll have a capture like I have here. I'd get like a solid minute or so, maybe minute 20 of record, so that because it repeats and you want to catch the full cycle. And then sometimes it's clearer depending on the Morse code decoder website that you can go to. So the best thing to do is, the compromise is to go, and you can see here that when you do decode it, you go and it'll give you a message, and it'll go to this rock or somewhere, and then you cross-reference to that with the Game Detective's website, and you'll find these secret signals on the wall. So, but if you haven't done the process, you could go to the same rock and it might not be there. So, once you've exported that file, the capture from your Elgato, then great, you've got a clear MP3 signal, and you can go to the decoder website, and you can kind of decode it and just fiddle with the parameters. You're going to have to study the website a bit to fiddle with the parameters, and then let it cycle through. And so sometimes it can be 80 to 90% there, and then you can cross-reference that with the full message, and that will tell you exactly where to go. But if you don't, say that you're low on the technology department, get your iPhone, put that against the headphones of your speakers, and then make sure that no one else is around, no interference, and record it directly into the microphone of your smartphone that way. That should give you a clearish signal, but I don't think it's as good as having this system here. Or you might be able to buy Audacity or some other third-party program, but if you're going straight into your TV, it's best to try and intercept the signal or get close to the speakers and get a nice clear signal so that you can take that to the deciphering website, get your code, and off you go. So you've got to do that like around about 10 times. And it is kind of annoying. It does get tedious, and you do go insane. And what happens is that the more you do the challenge, the more complex the codes get, because then they want you to reverse it and do it again. So it's like any good exam, you've got to sit there and really carefully read the instructions, because if you don't, and you're just decoding it straight and you can't work out why, you could save yourself an hour because you're just being stupid and doing, what do they say, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting the same result. That's insanity. Or a different result. That's insanity. So don't drive yourself insane. Just read the instructions carefully. Then, once you've done all that, I think it's on the last one, it just tells you exactly where to go, and then you go to Giant Shadow, and you have to complete all the challenges in sequence, and then you go and stand on the windmill. I think I stood on the one to the right from the spawn on the left-hand side. I just drove the tank down, got into the windmill, and once again, you have to wait for the doves. The doves appear and then they fly, and then one flies and it basically gives you the dog tag. Sorry, that's the lie. It gives you a sound cue, and it's a very similar sound cue to what you hear when you find the markers on the rocks. And once you find those markers on the rocks, you get the sound cue, and that tells you that you pass that level and you've gone to the next level. And the ultimate level is, of course, when you get the dove flying towards you. Now, I did that about 2 or 3 times because the dove would fly to the left or to the right. So I don't know if that's just bad design or it's dice torturing you because they're malicious and nasty, and it amuses them that you have to go up there and climb up a windmill a couple of times. I think from memory, because it has been a while since I've done this, that if you don't get that sound cue from the dove the first time, then you're better off backing out of the server and then generating the server again and starting afresh. So then after you've done all that and you get your sound cue, you should be able to go back into your dog tags and it'll show that very strange skull with octopus tentacles hanging out of it, and it says you have something you shouldn't have, something about a new beginning. And that's very intriguing, and I like the idea of zombies. In fact, there's a few dog tags I was theorizing the other day, that any dog tag, if you look at all the ones you can equip, there's a few with skulls, so maybe you have to collect all the skulls. That's what I do. And yeah, I'd have this challenge where, well, I'd have this situation where one person has it because it's so onerous, the task is so onerous, and that person is the key for the rest of the squad to get in. So I'll leave you with that thought. I hope you enjoyed the video. I know it's a bit rambly, but it's gonna this 5-10 minutes is gonna save you hours in your search. If you've got any questions, you can like, share, subscribe, and comment to this channel. This is Scott Industries, over and out.